Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. So I'm doing a series on equanimity and how to bring about equanimity quickly and efficiently, and the differences between the Buddhist and Indian methods of equanimity and the differences in the Hermetic methods of equanimity. Now, when you choose a meditation object in the Indian method or in the Buddhist method, you have two types. You have one Vipassana, one Samadhi. And Vipassana is basically awareness itself as your meditation object and not touching any of the thoughts, feelings and bodily sensations which arise upon the awareness. So it's a method of just letting go and not letting your mind touch anything. As you develop this skill, you accumulate a type of stillness around your mind, so the thoughts get further and further and further away. From there, the thoughts are as if they're coming from afar, and you can choose, do you engage them or don't you engage them? They generate distance, and this is because of the accumulation of emptiness. It spreads everything out. As this accumulation of emptiness spreads everything out, and thoughts get further and further away, there's less engaging, there's less static, and the monkey mind disappears, and you enter into what we call the first stage of equanimity, where we have conscious equanimity. This doesn't mean that you have unconscious equanimity. It doesn't mean there's static in your subconscious mind bouncing around. It just means the surface of the water is still. The depth of the water is not yet still. A very similar thing happens with one-pointed concentration on an object. You accumulate this tunnel vision between you and the object. The stillness and akasha accumulates around your concentration. You develop this deep, intense focus on what you're doing, and that deep, intense focus results in a type of stillness of the mind, stillness of your feelings, stillness of your body. This penetrates deeper into your subconscious in the Vipassana method because it forces all the layers to become more quiet because of the intent of the mind. The mind's like a sword concentrating on an object. But still the subconscious isn't disciplined and brought into a state of quietude. These two methods are generally accepted to take about 10 years to achieve deep equanimity. And the reason why is the layers of the consciousness moving through the subconscious to quieten subconscious static. It requires mastery of samadhi, mastery of one-pointed concentration. And the general time that people accept to master samadhi is a decade, about 10 years. The next method that we look at is the Hermetic Method. What does the Hermetic Method do? It begins with breathing life force in and out, how tuning the body and the breath to the elements and separating electromagnetic into electric and magnetic and air and earth. So you can breathe the fire element, the water, earth, and so forth. And then how you stabilize those elements in your unconscious mind. So you breathe the water element in, you align the mechanics of the body to the feeling, and you place commands within the water element to be still, to enter into equanimity. You lead it into an equanimous state. As you lead the energy into this equanimous state, you're going to find that the water element becomes very still throughout the whole body. And we do this by centering it within the water region of the body, which regulates the water element through the rest of the body. You repeat that through each of the elements. So what this does is it brings your astral subconscious mind into a very deep state of stillness. So the surface of the mind is still and the depths of the mind become still, because the elements are what control the monkey mind. They're the rifts of energy upon which the mind bounces up and down. So when we're able to regulate this, then we're in a position in which we can enter into that equanimous state. I've found it'll take a few months to a year within most students to get them to sit in equanimity if they do the elements on a daily basis before they do their sit and balancing the elements. Now, there's a lot of different methods of balancing the elements, from ritualized element breathing exercises, quabbalistic methods, to observing the elements and so forth. Now, the element meditation objects also are in the Buddhist system. They're also in the Indian system, but there's not an emphasis on utilizing them as a vehicle for stabilizing the astral body and making the unconscious mind sit still. The next method, and perhaps the most powerful method, is prayer. For those of you who have engaged in prayer, when you enter into prayer, there's a type of unconscious quietude where every part of your body, the bacteria, the blood cells, every layer of consciousness says quiet, we're praying. Now, I use the word we, because we is all the layers of your consciousness come together, synchronize, and go into this quietude of prayer. So this is the fastest way to achieve equanimity. Not in all people, but anyone who has resonance with prayer, for them it'll definitely be the quickest. So we have these different ways of engaging and entering into equanimity. Now in Buddhism, equanimity is the door to Nibbana. And it's the only door to the highest. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness generates the rising of knowledge that you are vibrational match to God. What does that mean? The microcosm is vibrational match to the macrocosm. It means that the essence of the fabric of your mind is God. So what do? You put equanimity to raise your awareness into your own divinity, which is a vibrational match to God. It means you don't pray outward, you pray inward. You pray to the divinity of your own being. When you accumulate this prayer, equanimity aligns and you achieve the highest much more quickly. And this is where methods that don't follow truth can touch divinity purely through prayer. What do I mean by that? You look at all the oddball religions across the planet and they believe in all types of weird stuff. Nonsense for the most part. But because they have faith and they pray, they enter into stillness, they touch divinity, and they get to these very, very high states of being, not because what they are practicing has universal truth in it, but the method in which they pray allows this manifestation of equanimity and resonance with their own divinity to awaken. So equanimity is the fabric of practice. So we need to investigate which method of achieving equanimity is best for you, why, how does it work, and having a multi-sphere approach to go, I'll go this way, this way, this way, this way, all at the same time, and one part is affecting all parts, and you come into equanimity quicker and you achieve that state in which you can touch divinity of your own consciousness. Okay, so I hope this helps with this first engaging what equanimity is, what magical equilibrium is in Hermetics and equanimity in Buddhism, and the value of it. As you start to appreciate this value in it, you'll go, that stillness is the treasure. The stillness that accompanies your meditation, that is the treasure. That's what you're looking at developing. Okay, thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.